Back on the SportsMax zone, action in the Lanka Premier League continued Wednesday. Of course, this tournament live on SportsMax. 2 games on the cards. The day's opening encounter saw Jamaica and West Indies hard-hitting batsman Andre Russell and his Colombo Kings losing by 28 runs. The Colombo Kings and the Dambulla Vikings scorecard showing that the Viking batted first and posted a challenging 175 for 9, with the tournament's leading run scorer Dasun Shanaka top scoring with 56. The fit again Russell looked sharp with the ball, claiming 3 for 18 from his 2 overs. He was the leading bowler for them. In reply, the Kings were bowled out for 147 inside 19 overs. Russell only managed to score 5 as the Kings lost their first game of the new season. So an outstanding all-rounder. Many consider him the best T20 player in the world, struggling with knee issues for several years now. And Mariah and Brent in recent times has opted not to bowl too much because obviously the strain on the knees, but he was efficient with the ball today at 3 for 18. Good job, Dre Russ.
Definitely, he shows that he still has it. And I think, just limiting the amount of times that he bowled, it worked in his favor. Today, we see Andre Russell. And that's the thing about this caliber player. And me sitting down here, looking as a West Indies fan, I look on and I'm like, Andre Russell, if only we had you in our T20 matches when we needed you. He's the type of player, once he can fire, he will. We see him not contributing with the bat today, Lance, but he fired with the ball, and I think that is what makes him who he is. Yeah.
Brent, I'm not sure if you played any cricket at all. We know you're an outstanding central defender during your youth days. Well, even now in the Masters League. But I've had several conversations with Wes Hall. Congratulations to him, by the way, having an 8-foot statue erected at Kensington Oval in his honor, about fast bowling and the wear and tear on the bowler's body. He always said it is such an unnatural action for a fast bowler that it is difficult for fast bowlers to avoid getting themselves injured. So with knee issues, Andre Russell, as a fast bowler, would be putting his knee under a lot of strain. What is your take on Andre Russell and his battling with knee trouble, staying away from longer versions of cricket, obviously Test cricket, and he doesn't even seem to want to play too many 50-over matches these days? Yeah, I think we're not getting Brent's audio.
Yeah.
Let's try and make an adjustment there with Brent to get his, because I'm interested in hearing what he has said, because Mara, neither you nor I have played international sport. I play for fun, you play none at all.
That's not true, Lance, and let's not say that on television. I can play recreationally.
Okay. All right, Brent, waiting for your comments, Brent, on this Andre Russell story and his injury issues.
I thought I was going to hear Mariah's playing schedule here.
No, Brent, they always act as if. Brent, you know what they do to me?
She plays no sport,
Brent, you know what they do to me on the show? They act as if I can't even mash ants. I can.
No, I was saying, of course, I think with the bowling action, it is an unusual one. It's a stop and start one, and the planting of the foot.
That's right.
Yes.
It's jarring. It's jarring on the knees and the ankles.
Yeah, I've suffered my fair share of knee injury, and if, from a footballing perspective, it's one of my major injuries was a knee one, and it come down a lot to that stop and start, that movement, that once you plant your foot, which of course is a jarring issue, you start bringing in stuff like your tendons, etc., and the wear and tear, and the longer format of the game, of course, for Test cricket, I can see that being absolutely detrimental. So I don't blame Dre Russell. He's really, he's an outstanding player, and I think if he was to venture into the longer format, I think he'll have a shorter career.
Yeah, when we talk about this, it brings into mind, you remember when we were discussing basketball, load management. Russell, he knows his body better than anybody else, and of course he would have his physio and whatnot advising him. So it's like he's managing load management. He's doing what he has to do to ensure that he gets the best out of himself.
Yeah, he is. And listen, we have come a long way as it relates to sports science. It's one of the #1 discussions. Most teams, professional teams around the world, have what you call a strength and conditioning coach, which is sometimes, guys, it's even more important than an assistant coach in the footballing realm, that they're hiring strength and conditioning, because you have to manage players. And manage players' injuries is a key part of their performances. And of course, there's so much involved with sports science and helping players being able to cheat injuries, as you would call it, that it's important. And you're right, Mariah, it's load management, and he has to obviously have a careful look at the way, of course, he applies himself to cricket.
Brent, is it just me, or as a West Indian, when you look at Dre Ross doing these big things in this Lanka Premier League, don't you just wish that he was representing us in our windy colours?
I think after listening to my good friend Fazir there and then talking about the hope of the West Indies, I would say I do agree. You do wish it happens for us, but something has really gone terribly wrong with our cricket since 1995. You know, listening to Ricardo's report on it, it is so devastatingly sad. I grew up in an era of watching the Malcolm Marshall, the Holdings and Ambrose, and I was so proud, of course, from a cricket, made me a cricket fan. And now to where we are now, and we do have the talent. That is the scary thing. It's no doubt that we have the talent.
Just execution.
But something has gone wrong. It's gone completely wrong.
Yeah, and Brent, you still didn't answer the question about whether you played any cricket at all or not, or maybe you did, but we weren't hearing you.
Yeah, no, I did play a bit of cricket, but more of at the school level, and I think when I started getting a couple of those bounces here and there, I decided to stick to a bigger boom.
Brent, I'm not sure in your community though, you know, back home in Trinidad and Tobago, of course, they love to play street cricket. Like, you know, people would come out with their bats and, of course, those crickstins, and you didn't play that at least? When you were older?
I did play. Actually, I played about 2 weeks ago. I wouldn't tell you what happened in terms of my batting. It was horrendous.
Listen.
But I did play about 2 weeks ago.
Brent, we have a SportsMax cricket team here, and I have been trying to get in. Lance is out of form, but he walks into the side, but nobody picks me, and they haven't even seen my batting skills. What do you think about that?
No, well, listen, Lance is what you call a Bo Sanders. He's a multi-sport. You know, you have Deion Sanders, you have Bo Jackson, those type of guys that can play.
He's out of form. He needs to get rested like Shea Hope and let him work on his batting and come back.
Well, I'd be I'd be in huge despair, Brent, if I'm replaced by Mariah Ramharak on the SportsMax cricket team.
You'll send us voice notes.
We'll see what happens. Lots of cricket, as we said, on SportsMax. Don't forget Australia against India tonight, and there is daily on SportsMax in the morning the Lanka Premier League on SportsMax and SportsMax 2.